When Paula Deen showed up on the Today Show this morning, she cried. She apologized for using racial slurs in the past, but that controversy, which recently erupted, may not have been the reason her cooking show was canceled. Also, her career, even in that case, may not be over. Lee Hawkins joins us now. Lee, good morning.
Good morning.
So, what was the real reason her show got canceled?
Well, I mean, we can't say definitively that it was because the ratings were down 22%.
But the ratings were down 20%.
Yes, they were in the very influential 18 to 49 demographic. Also, overall, about 22% there, and then overall 15%.
And it's interesting in your and Keisha's story this morning that dump and stir shows in general, cooking shows, the kind where you do Julia Child style, just make a recipe in front of you, aren't as popular as reality type cooking shows. There's a big shift going on.
They're not as popular. And the important thing to keep in mind here is that Paula Deen is not going out of business because she hasn't lost much business. Food Network dropped her, Smithfield dropped her, but Walmart, Target, Sears, JCPenney, Novo Nordisk, all of these companies have kept a relationship with Paula Deen. And let's face it, she said the N-word, and that's one thing, but she said some pretty horrific things about black people.
And yet, surprisingly, some people haven't jumped on. In the past, you would argue that some people would really jump on the criticism bandwagon, and that hasn't happened.
100%. I talked to the NAACP earlier today. They're focused on 4 Supreme Court cases right now. They're not going to really pursue this. Jesse Jackson was on with Aaron Burnett on CNN saying that he thought that she should be forgiven.
What's changed? Why this new approach?
I think it's because if you remember Obama's 45-minute speech that he gave on race when he was being elected.
His grandmother.
His first one, right. And there was a point where he said, I'm going to talk about it now and then I'm not going to talk about it anymore. That was a historic moment in race politics. It was a shift from confrontation politics that we saw with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and then Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, to collaboration. And now to de-emphasize race is really an issue. If you look at Imus and Vic, those are two people that went
Don
through
Imus and Nappy-Headed Hose was his line.
Right, and Michael Vick, the dog fighting. Both of those people had activist groups fighting to get ads pulled and to get endorsements pulled. They don't have that here. If Walmart and Target and all of these companies, right, have allowed her, she's already said all these things. If they haven't pulled the relationship now, they're not going to do it because she's not going to do anything more than she's already done, which on its face, what she's done already was enough to end the relationship.
And you know, what's interesting, Paula Deen isn't a public company. But there is a very interesting corollary here in a public company we do have, which is Martha Stewart living Omnimedia.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart, back in 2005, she had a TV show on NBC in syndication. We actually have their stock chart here. So back in 2005, you can see that. So that was when she had her show on syndication. Back in 2010, we followed the chart down. That's when the show, after declining ratings, moved over to the Hallmark Channel. Then it was finally canceled in 2012. But as you can see, the stock is down, but she still has a business, and it's merchandising.
Listen, and Paula Deen,
a third of her revenue, but all of the profit of Martha Stewart is Macy's, Home Depot, JCPenney. Macy's is even suing,
right?
Because Martha Stewart did a deal with JCPenney. They care about the brand.
These people have fanatical followers. They are rabid fans. There's been a backlash against the Food Network for the decision that they made to cut her. She'll be back on the air probably within a year. And when you look at the strategy and the way she's handled it, she hasn't handled the crisis management very well, but I don't think that's going to hurt her. I think right now her strategy is going to be to lay low and to not talk. And when you think about it, isn't that the best thing that she could do right now? Because wasn't talking what got her in trouble in the first place?
Fascinating segment. Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks.